What up, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back with another video. And today's topic is about why I stopped smoking weed for 3 months. And almost like the truth about drugs, right? Because this is going to get a little deep and more like religious kind of towards the end. But I'm going to start off with this, right? I started smoking weed by the age of 15. I was a sophomore in high school, I believe. And I wanted to be safe and started smoking weed kind of just to see what it was, right? I just wanted to see like the buzz about like why everybody smoke weed, like why everybody, I have family, everybody was smoking weed. I ain't really see much of it, but as I got older, I became more interested, I remember being a kid who was always like, back in 8th grade, 7th grade, all the homies that knew me back then was like, I was clowning dudes for smoking weed. I was like, man, those dudes are losers, right? I'm talking about like I'm full on. I would never smoke weed. Like I used to tell myself, and I tell my mom. I remember telling my mom as a kid, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, Mom, I ain't never gonna smoke weed. She used to be so proud and happy, like, yeah, please stay like that. And look what happened now. So I was 15, basically smoking, and as the first time I actually was a lightweight, I threw up like a little bitch and shit. But I got the feeling of what high was a little bit. I didn't smoke after I threw up. It was like after 2 to 3 hits, I was just coughing so much that I was like, I didn't know what to do, So I threw up. My cousin's like, damn, bro, like, what the fuck? And shit like that. I threw up outside of his car, though, but he was like, damn, bro, like, you a lightweight for real. I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. So I end up smoking, right? And then it eventually became like more of my friends. I'm like, yo, bro, I smoked. And he was like, word. I had smoked too before. I was like, yo, you trying to smoke? And shit like that. We was like, yeah, it was good. So then we got a few more friends, and it became more of like just tried it out, right? We tried it out, and it was like more so the times when we go to this one gyro spot where they got the food at. And bro, I'm telling you, when you first smoke, it's like you smoke and you high for 2-3 hours. Like your whole body just don't feel right. You feel weird, but like you feel high. So it's like for 3 hours you're high, and we up in that bitch for like 3 hours eating food straight up like that. Having a good time though. It's like when you first smoke, it's like those good times, And then eventually it became to like, yo, you trying to smoke like whenever we kind of bored. So it'll be once a week to like, it started going to 2 times a week to 3 or 4, shit like that. Eventually over a brief period of time, we start actually smoking a while. But I'll say I didn't really start like really consistently smoking at 15. I was smoking carts in school and shit like that. But when it really hit was when Corona hit, when COVID hit. It was, I think I was like 16, 17, in my junior year of high school. Midway at March, I remember that's when it hit. We ain't have nothing to do, we were just chilling, and I wasn't even living with my family at the time, but like over time I left the people who I was living with, and I'm living by myself with my family kind of. Excuse me. And that's when it's like, my friend had got his whip, so like we around the way, and that whole like kind of COVID to summer, it was like a good 5-6 months period. That's when we was smoking like every day, like, so for a year I was like smoking a little bit, something like I'll say max 3 to 4 times a week. Now it's like an everyday thing. Whenever we got weed, we smoking it. It didn't even matter if it was a quarter. We'll sit in that session and smoke that shit to the bone, like, and not even thinking about like, damn, what we got later sometimes, like, type shit. And I just remember it being so bad that I kind of was losing a lot of weight. I was always on my lifting journey, but then I'm starting to see that this shit was getting in my way. And then like sometimes I'll take like a few weeks off, but then come back, and but my friends at the time, they never take breaks like that, really. It was only like one friend who took a break who could control it, but then after a while these dudes can't control, like they need to be high, right? And I wasn't that type of person. I wasn't going to allow a drug to control me fully. I would never let that. So I was always taking a break, like a couple weeks break, then I'll come back, smoke, and it just became like a bad habit, a very bad habit, that whenever I'm with my friends, they got it. I'm on that too. Like I'm smoking. I ain't have nothing to do. I wasn't I wasn't striving for my goals that much. Only thing was the gym. And I wasn't really on my purpose and really following it. So then eventually I'm like, damn, like I'm smoking 3 times a day. At least, especially when I wasn't working, bro. I was smoking at least 3-4 times a day, chilling with the homies, losing weight, getting bony type shit. And I'm like, damn, some gotta change, So after a while, right, like this whole, like, let's say a year goes by, and now I'm 18, It was still continuously the same thing, but now I'm 18, but now I work. So I remember when I first got my job, I was happy, everything like that. But then as I continually kept smoking, I was smoking at least before I go to work sometimes, and then after work. After work was where it hit. Like, I needed to smoke after work. That's when I realized I'm really fiending for this shit. After work, if I didn't have my blunt, boy, I was going berserk, bro. I was asking dudes like, yo, let me get some for the bong at least and shit like that. I'm telling you, but I wanted a blunt. Like, fuck a bong. I wanted a blunt to go to sleep, watch a show, and go to sleep. And overall, living like the rest of these random dudes, just living like the regular type of guy, go to work. But at least I went to the gym. I could say that at least I always went to the gym after work no matter what. And even then, before the gym, I'll smoke. And then after the gym, I'll smoke. And then I'll go home, eat, smoking. No, that was the real blunt. Like, that was the real life shit. Either the before the gym was like a mandatory. So I'm constantly in the gym high as fuck. Like, I'm fried. I'm walking in there fried, whether it was with the homies or not. They'll when I'm with the homies outside of the gym, bro, we'll smoke like a blunt or two. And like, that's like fucking fried. Like, you walking in that bitch smell like hella weed. And at the time I could give two fucks, bro. But now it's like a whole different Patrick. And I walk in there like I'm blazed, like I'm cooking, like my shit is baking, I'm fried. And I didn't give a fuck. After a while, sometimes you get that feeling of everybody looking at you, but you get used to that shit. After a while, you just like, man, I'm in this bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck. So like, all that anxiety and everything kind of went away and everything like that. So that's when I really started enjoying to smoke. And basically, right, I started to realize that, throughout this time, 18 was the hardest 6, 7, 8 months of my life, bro. I eventually lose my job. I eventually get my acne. All my acne comes back, so my face is flooded with my pimples. It's hard to, my confidence goes down. As a man, confidence is everything, and then your confidence goes down. You kind of become insecure. Insecure. It was just so bad for me sometimes, man. Sometimes I didn't want to leave the house because of how I look sometimes. And like, something with me though was like, during all of this mask shit where everyone was wearing masks, I told myself, Patrick, you are never gonna be wearing no mask, man. Yo, you're not wearing no mask. Like, I don't give a fuck how bad it gets, you're not wearing no mask. So I at least had that to go for. But then I lose my job, my face fucks up, my relationship with my girlfriend at the time, it's over. We end up breaking up and everything like that. So it was like so much shit. And then on top of that, this is where like the big one hits me, where my aunt tells me like, yo, like, you got to get the fuck out of here, basically. Like, she trying to kick me out of the house and everything that I paid rent. They didn't even want my rent no more. So it was like, I'm home. I don't have a job. I'm homeless now. My face looks like shit. So I'm insecure and I'm just sad. And my girl breaks up with me. Like, we broke up with each other, and I'm broke. I'm broke at the time, and I just didn't have a vision, So this time was like the most craziest time of my life, bro, where I'm basically homeless. I don't even know where to go. I eventually stayed with my friends for 2 weeks and everything, for 2 months and everything like that. And then I ended up coming here with my dad, and that was the best move I could do. So I transitioned my whole life, and this is my whole channel for you guys, that if anything bad happen, that there is a way. If there's a will, there is a way. And on top of that whole thing, like, my testosterone's lowered from smoking so much and not eating the food and nutrition that I get. So when you're a man with low testosterone, your drive and you're willing to live almost is like not there. Like, for me, I was kind of suicidal throughout this time, bro. I was very depressed and just like, bro, I want to like end this shit, bro. Like, this is too much right now, bro. Like, and what kept me going was this one quote, that God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers and shit. So, I just kept that in mind, and, I just kept it moving. And I ended up watching this dude named Hamza, and he was one of the best idols for me that I could look up to. He was basically kind of living the same life that I had, the degenerate lifestyle of just smoking weed, partying, all of that shit. And he turned his whole life. Now, at the time, he was making $10,000 a month. Now he's making like 50, 60K a year or a month. And 50, 60,000 a month is like 300-400 bands a fucking year, almost. Not even, that's way more. That's like 500 bands, some shit like that. So it's like, I want to be like him. It's like 600K a year, like that's real shit. So if this dude could do it, I can do it, right? So this led me to making my channel and everything like that. But I was talking a lot, but basically from being a kid and everything who didn't have my goals written and everything like that, I had nothing to strive for. But then I realized, like, even with my journey of weightlifting, right, that's my number one thing at this whole time. Like, no matter what happens, I don't give a fuck if I'm sad, depressed, angry, somebody's coming outside to fight me or whatever. I am at the gym. I'm going to the gym regardless, no matter what happens. So eventually, I'm not seeing that much gains. I realized that my nutrition, I'm not even eating, bro. I'm hardly eating, bro. I was losing so much weight. At the time, I weighed like 135 pounds, bro. Like, I'm a grown ass man at that point, 18 years old, weighing 135 pounds. Like, that's not enough, bro. So, basically, I'm realizing from the drugs, I realized it was the number one problem, the whole thing, even for my face. Even with my relationship with this girl, she would always tell me, like, yo, stop smoking so damn much, And me not realizing at the time, I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I want to smoke, I used to feel sorry for myself. I'll tell her, like, man, I just got out of work, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm working all of this, Make excuses like a little bitch. I was Apache before, sounding like a pussy. But, it was just like, I realized that the drugs was doing it. It fucked up my relationship. It fucked up my face. When I smoke so much, your pores open up. So you have so much acne. So then I remember going back to seeing this girl one time. She was like, what the fuck? Like, she didn't even realize it was me with all my acne. And that hurt. I was like, fuck, bro. So it was like, I'm like, damn, bro. And I realized that smoking weed led me into the depression. It led me into, thinking negative all the time. Just me always wanting to be, it just was always something negative. I always wanted I was thinking bad, like always thinking about, like, if I have to fight someone right now, and just, always just being kind of anxious of something's gonna happen. And to be fair, stuff was happening in my life at that time, and just being so anxious and just all of that shit it's just not good for you. And then my testosterone, smoking lowers your testosterone. So then after I realized, bro, like, this is like the devil's work. Like, this is like God telling me, like, look, you're doing the bad things in life. You have to end up in switching it, And smoking was the number one thing, because the thing I'm not really, like, telling y'all is, like, this was the number one thing I looked forward to, bro. Other than the gym, I wanted to be high, to be chilling, to be, like, lazy. Where when I smoke, bro, I remember when I first started smoking, my relationship with my girl had ended. Bro, I was just so, like, I didn't give a fuck at that time, right? You smoke, your feelings go away. You just like, man, I'm watching this show. I'm chilling. I could give two fucks what's going on. But then when I really stopped smoking for 3 months, right? All of those feelings came back. I'm like, what the fuck? I miss this girl. I start really thinking about her. But it's like 3-4 months later, I'm like, bro, you supposed to be chilling after a while, right? And I didn't get over her for a while, bro. I'm talking a while, and it was crazy. So I realized that smoking was just not beneficial in any way. The weed I was smoking some gas. So I was at least spending 45 and eighth, 75 to 80 to a quarter type shit. So it's like, it's not beneficial in any ways. And on top of that, just everything in life wasn't going on for me, and I just realized that weed was the negative thing. So not to get on top of this, right? The 3 months where I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking I remember telling myself, I was going out with the homies. We were in New York, getting lit and everything. So I smoked like 4, 5, 6 blunts that day, and I was drunk as shit. But I stood on my morals. I told myself, listen, you're not gonna be smoking for the next 3 months. I told all the homies that. They're like, man, you bugging. There's no way like that you could, like, that's crazy that you could do that type shit. I was like, listen, I'm different. I'm gotta do what I gotta do. So even when I was chilling throughout this whole time, right, like, especially with the side effects of me smoking, bro, was crazy. Like, the first week was hell. Second week was even worse, right? And I remember the bad times, man. I used to break down sometimes. Like, I didn't mean to. I remember going out with my family one time, and I haven't seen them in so long. Like, but we got together as a family, me and my sisters and my mom, and I just started breaking down, just like on some shit. Like, it just happened, bro. Like, and I was just crying, just crazy, and I made my sisters cry, bro. Like, it was crazy. They seen the pain I was going through, bro. Like, and it wasn't like, it was just some sad shit for me even, right? So I couldn't even, it's hard to talk about, but it was just crazy throughout this time. And, the anger, all of the emotions that were in my body at the time, man, I thank God I don't feel that, man. I don't feel like that now, man. I was so angry. Like, if I need to fight someone, I'm fighting you right now, wherever we're at. I was on timing, bro. I was on demon time. I didn't care about nothing. I could give two fucks about what's going on. I was so sad. I was so depressed. I wanted to die. I wanted to die, bro. I was just so sad. I was on timing though. Like, that's the thing. When you're so full of anger and you're sad and you're depressed and you want to die, you living for nothing, bro. You're just living to live. And you're one of those people that are just like, that'll really kill the dude for no reason, kind of. It was just something like that, and it was just so crazy, right? So, overall, over time, it got better. After the first month, everything started to get better. You know, my testosterone levels went up. I started to feel like more of a man. I started getting really focused, and at this time, I was watching Hamza. Hamza was my number one passion, not passion, but my idol. You know, somebody I looked up to for real. Somebody who was just like me, like a fucking loser, and completely changes his life. You know, that's something that I want to strive for you guys, to give you guys. Like, I want to be, you know, it's only gonna show once the money comes, honestly, because my morals aren't gonna change. I'm gonna be just the same strong man that I always been, and I started to really focus on my goals. I started journaling for my anger and everything, and you know, I started meditating, and my life just got better and better. And now I'm not even in the position to be, you know, I'm always thankful. You know, I'm always gratitude journaling. I'm just always thankful for God because of the shit that I have. You know, bro, I was homeless almost at a time, bro. Like, it was just crazy. So much stress on me, like, so much. And I couldn't even deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it, so I went to weed to fucking cope with it and fucking get me away from everything, man. I was sad. I was just angry at the world. I didn't want to do anything in my life, bro. Man, I wanted to die, bro. Like, that was no funny shit, bro. That was the first time I ever felt like suicidal in my life, bro. And like, that was just like something that I was like, bro, like, what's going on with you, bro? Like, that you have never, like, I said in my past video, as a kid, I was always happy. I didn't know what sad was. I didn't know what the depression was. I never knew what suicidal was. So it was always something for me. Like, I want to get off my chest, because it's like, you know, men are always scared to talk about that. And whether girls watching this shit thinking I'm weak, I could give two fucks about what a bitch think or what a dude think. If you think I'm weak, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I'm on timing, bro. So it's like, it never really mattered to me because I know who I truly am. So I want to really get to the people, you know, who would look at at themselves like that is weak, you know, that think that they're weak from kind of expressing their feelings. And I'm expressing it to a camera, but like, bro, I would only talk to my friends, bro. I won't talk to no girl about my feelings or anything like that, other than my sister or something like that. So, you know, if you're going through things, give it to your trusted people, you know, talk to your trusted people. I don't advise talking to your girlfriend or anything like that, because that will lower your standard almost. But if you want to go, sisters, I definitely say, like, if you have sisters, those are the people you grew up with, so you might as well. And your closest friends, bro. All you really need is your closest homeboy, and you good. But like I said, you know, the weed was just everything. It was always fucking on my life, bro. And especially, it took me off of my passion of just, you know, pursuing my YouTube. I should have been started this YouTube account. That's the thing that y'all don't understand. I've been thinking about it for so long that I was just sitting, being complacent like a girl almost, and not doing nothing. I felt like a bitch. So it was like, you know, the weed fucked me up. And now I could gradually smoke occasionally whenever I want to. I could smoke if I want to today. Then, you know, I don't crave smoking no more. I don't even get the urge to smoke no more, bro. Excuse me, not to say that I don't get the urge, but it's like, I know what it did to me. I already seen what it did to me. No matter what weed, it could be the most exotic weed. If I don't want to smoke it, I'm not gonna smoke it, right? I could smoke it when I want to. Now I've earned that. I have earned that thing that, you know, I stood strong on my morals and everything. So 3 months, if I smoke for 3 months, if I didn't smoke for those 3 months, I wouldn't be able to smoke occasionally. Now I can smoke whenever I kind of want to, man. And I'm proud of myself for that. I give myself, you know, 3 months without smoking was something so big to me, bro. Something so crazy. And it might even be crazy to you, bro. So the truth about drugs is, it's not good. It's not a good thing. Anything that's going to harm you and just to strive you off your path of your life. And, you know, being complacent. I'm telling you, I would smoke weed, watch my anime, and eat junk food, man, McDonald's, and just not be on my path, right? And it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with anime, but, you know, you gotta, you know, there's time for that, time and place for that. If you're a man who really wants to strive his goals after work, after the gym, there is no time for anime. There is no time for smoking. It's time to get to work. That's what it's about. And I learned this from Hamza, so shout out my boy. One day I will speak to him and shit like that. Maybe have like a good convo with him and all that. But overall, stay yourself, stay 300, and whatever you do in life, trust me, I believe in you, bro.